Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Wednesday already. It is, and this is pay off how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. And we are in the P.I.L.L Method Club. So if you're not following the club, folks, go ahead and click that mansion at the top of the room, that green little building up there, and join the club. And today, folks, are you is this a misprint? Are we actually talking about the fact that 6% mortgages are better than the ones at 2.99? Come on, folks, start pinging some people in here. Let's get some folks in here so that they can see hear and see what we're talking about. Put some information in the chat if you would, please. Just say hi. I'm going to say hi there to everybody. Hello. All right, there we go. Say hello to everybody in the chat. And we have, okay, we've got 4 shares. Let's go ahead and get it out there. We've got 4 shares. We've got 10 people in here now. We're going to be talking about some interesting things. Now, hello there from Facebook, Amy, good to see you. And if you would like to be able to see what's going on, go ahead and go to ice10kvideos.com. You can go on a secondary device. If you want to hear us on Clubhouse and see the examples we're getting ready to put on the screen, then you want to go to ice10kvideos.com. And we have Miss Kenyatta that just came into the room. Miss Kenyatta, how are you this morning?
I am grand. Good morning, good people. I see my friend in the followed by speaker section. Hi, Marge. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com. And I can assist you with building your generational wealth with real estate, which means I can not only help you find a property with a great ROI, but I can actually help you fund your projects. I can actually help you cancel the interest on that project so we can get you yet another one. So whether it's a business purpose loan, maybe you're a barber, a dentist, I can help you with equipment and other things. So tap in with me if you have money needs.
All right. I want to thank, let's see, Kishel, is that how you pronounce your name? Kishel, thank you for sharing the room. Chiquita, thank you. Lena, thank you for sharing the room. Let's go ahead and continue to share the room, folks. Let's get it out there so people can know where you are. We're up to 7 shares. I'm even going to share the room. I'm going to put some, going to go ahead and put some fire and gem emojis in there right quick. So let people know that we are going to be on fire in here today. Today, we're going to be learning about something that people just never, ever, ever talk about. And we're going to explode some myths today. Okay, we're going to explode some myths today. We're going to try. I don't like that word. I want to make sure that we insert new language into financial education. New language into financial education. And by putting that new language in, we will be able to get a better understanding of what's going on. Jeremiah, hello, and to you. And Quincy Jones, hello to you. Good morning to you. And let's see here from Facebook. All right. Says good morning, Don. All right, let me see here. And I can't tell which Quincy Jones that is. Is that the Quincy Jones I know from home? Because I can't tell right now. Is that from the one from Battle Creek? Or is this a new Quincy Jones? Or is it the Quincy Jones, the musician? Oh, but see, both Quincy Jones I know are musicians. So anyway, so tell me who you are. And listen, yes, it's that Quincy Jones from home. See, we were in the Battle Creek Fire Department together. Okay, Battle Creek Fire Department. Okay. And then he went on to get further education and became, fire marshal. Oh my gosh. I mean, these are the guys that go and do the investigation. These are the smart guys. You got to be able to tell how the fire started, where the fire started in the building. You got to be able to tell, was this arson? Was somebody actually intentionally trying to set this fire? So, folks, this is what we're going to be talking about today. What is going on with this information when it comes to lending? All right, what's going on here? All right, and we've got our Kurt Nugent. We've got our engineer who makes sure that everything gets out there live so that you can see it. You can hear it on Clubhouse, but then you can see it live on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So you'll be able to see all this information that we're going to be putting up. We're going to prove it to you. We're going to prove it. He says origin and cause. That's what he does. Origin and cause. Folks, we're going to find out the origin of what's going on here with these interest rates, with real estate, and how we can put ourselves in a better position with real estate by understanding how we can better use someone else's money. What we have been told about using somebody else's money, the language is all wrong. It sounds right. It sounds like the higher interest rates are the worst interest rates when it comes to getting a loan, and the lower interest rates seems like the better ones. But you know what? Guess who's in charge of our financial education? The bankers. Because let me ask you something. Is there anybody in the room, and you can put this in the chat, is there anybody in the room that has ever had any type of education on how loans actually work, how the bank makes their money, and how we can upset their apple cart, how we can beat them at their own game? Has anybody ever had a class on that? I mean, even if you are a real estate, if you're in real estate, if you are a loan officer, has anybody ever taught you how a loan actually works? Go ahead and put that in the chat today. If you've had any of that education, have you had that education? Anybody ever teach you how a loan works? We're going to get into that a little bit about that today. Origin and cause. What causes long-term debt? What causes long-term debt? And I want you to think about something before we get started here. Think about this. Ms. Kenyatta, do you know that you can pay $150,000, maybe even $200,000 for a car? Did you know that?
Yeah, I see it all the time in Miami, I'm sure.
Exactly. You can pay $200,000 for a car, but you know what you can't get? You can't get a 30-year loan for a car, a $200,000 car. You got to have that thing paid off in 6 or 7 or 8 years. But you can get a 30-year loan on a $200,000 home. Why does it take 30 years to pay off a $200,000 house, but only takes 8 years to pay off a $200,000 car? Folks, we're going to learn some stuff today. What causes long-term debt? What keeps you in debt forever? The money that you borrow or the cost of the money that you borrow? All right. So listen, if you have any questions about that, if you have been wondering some of the same things, would you please raise your hand, come to the stage, and join the conversation? It works much better when you come and join the conversation. But just to kick things off here today, all right, I want you to know that we've been teaching this for a while. And there's somebody who has learned how to pay off mortgages, not in just 7 years, but there's somebody we know that has paid off a mortgage in just 4 years. Okay. And some of you might have even heard his name or watched his videos online. I want you to listen in to hear what Dr. Eric Thomas, the E.T., the hip hop preacher, what he has to say about this program, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's play it.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. You heard that. E.T., the hip hop preacher, used the P.I.L.L method to pay off his mortgage in just 4 years. If you want to know more about that, you see that link at the top of the page? See that link at the top of the page? If you click on that, you can get a savings and earnings report just by clicking on that link and find the button that says get a savings and earnings report. Put in your financial information and you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how you can save a ton of interest that you don't have to pay, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. All right. So listen, folks, we just went over, let's see, if you click on our room here, go ahead. The club, the P.I.L.L Method Club, you will notice something, that we are over 8,000 followers on Clubhouse. 8,000 followers on Clubhouse, 8,000 followers, and we are excited about that today. And because we're excited about that today, we're going to be doing a giveaway. All right. And I'm going to put a link. I'm going to put a link in the chat. We're going to put it online as well. We talk about my book a lot. And I'm giving away a free chapter to the book, a free chapter to the book today. All right. All right. So here's what you're going to do. Thank you, Quincy. Thank you, Quincy. Quincy, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm looking forward to talking to you, man. Let's see if we can chat after this. Folks, listen, I need you to see, we're putting the book on the screen right now. And my engineer is putting together, he's going to put together a graphic here before too long about the book. And I'm going to put it in the chat. And I'm doing it online right now. We're going to put that out there for everybody to see. And we're going to put it in the chat in Clubhouse as well. All right, let me go ahead and put that in here. We're going to paste that. Uh-oh, I got to copy it again. Hold on. Copy. All right, copy the link. Open the link. Oh, no. I want to copy the link. There it is. Copy the link. And we're going to put it in the chat. All right. There we go. All right. There it is. All right. So folks, here's what we're talking about. And I'm going to put that temporarily at the top of the page. All right. We're going to put that temporarily at the top of the room. And so that you can actually see this. Kenyatta, I'm going to change this out for just a second. We're going to put it back, and we're going to put a new link in here. So, okay. And okay, we're going to, all right, edit the link, put a new link in. All right, folks, that's it. Now, if you will go to that link, you can download a free chapter to my book. All right, free chapter. All right. So we're giving away a free chapter to the book to anybody. So go ahead and start sharing the room. Go ahead, Kenyatta, could you go ahead and mod up Miss Critic, because listen, we want to get all this good information out there. And this book, folks, has been a 5-time bestseller on Amazon. 5 times bestseller on Amazon. And not only that, but we have we're looking to make it a 6-time bestseller, and I just got um, uh, information from my writing team. Guess what, folks? We are very soon going to start our second book, and we're putting together the information. We're going to dive deeper into this information. And so one of the things that people are talking about from the book, and here's what I want to tell you right now, folks. One of the things people are talking about is that the book did not have like a 1 or 2 or 3 steps on how to get out of debt like other books. And the reason why is because you can't have 1 or 2 or 3 steps. It's impossible. If you want to optimize debt reduction and interest cancellation, it is a whole thing. It is a whole system. Once you understand how loans really work. Now, here's what I'm trying to talk about, folks. Here's what I want you to see and everybody to understand, okay? Since 1934, that's 88 years that this has been going on, that we have amortized mortgages. It takes 30 years to pay off a house when it should only take 7. It takes 30 years to pay off a house when it should only take 7. Now, how do we do that? Because we're paying way more interest than we need to pay. Way more interest than we need to pay. And we've been doing that for 88 years. Why? Because no one has taught how loans really work. We're teaching that here in the P.I.L.L Method Club. We're teaching that here. P.I.L.L Method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. And here's some stats for you. 9 out of 10 people you know that have a mortgage will never pay off that mortgage, will never pay off a mortgage. 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage. In other words, they will die with a mortgage. That's the only way they're going to get out of it. 9 out of 10 people you know die with a mortgage. If that were not true, more and more people it would be regular conversation. When are you paying off your mortgage? When are you getting this? When are you doing that? So we talk about stuff all the time, but not when you're paying off your mortgage. That's not common knowledge. That's not common information. And we have a lot of false information about how to handle mortgages. And we're going to explode some of those myths today. 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage. Here's another stat for you. Most families, the average family pays 35 to 39% of their take-home pay on interest, making interest payments. That is what keeps us in debt forever. And it is false information about interest that keeps us there. And I'm going to show you something now. Now we have, oh my goodness, we have 10 shares. Thank you so much for 10 shares. Listen, 10 shares. I absolutely love it. Can we get a little bit more as we go ahead and get Credit Goddess here? Credit Goddess, thank you for coming to the stage and being here with us this morning. Credit Goddess, will you please tell us who you are and how fabulous you are this morning? Oh, Credit Goddess, are you with us? You know, she probably already tapped in and said, you know what, Don, I'm going to be here for a minute, but I'm busy. Credit Goddess, are you busy? You're always busy.
Yeah, I am. It's always something to do. Hey, everyone. My name is Rose Delore Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess and the official credit expert here at the P.I.L.L Method Crew. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, business credit consultant, and an educator at Be Free University. I'm here to support Don as always. I love this topic because it touches on a strategy on how to build generational wealth, also how to keep more money, right? So if any of you guys have any questions are always the best thing to do, because not only Don will be able to answer, but everyone will be able to learn from your question. So definitely come on up, share the room as well, because we only got 10 shares by 18 folks in here. You need to get more folks so that way they can learn this information and you don't have to regurgitate this information. Don will do all the work. So go ahead and share the room. It's the arrow with the number 10 below, and let's get it.
Thank you, Credit Goddess. All right, folks, let me put we're going to put something on the screen right now just to get you started, just to get your mind working again. And if you want to see this, Miss Kenyatta, please, could you tell the folks how they can see what I'm getting ready to put on the screen?
Hello, new folks. Go to ice10k videos with an s.com. That's ice10k videos with an s.com. We ask that you use another device so you can stay being a part of the conversation here on Clubhouse by using a tablet, desktop, or a laptop. Once there, you'll be led into YouTube where you can like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, share. We want to get this information out to as many people as possible. Happy viewing.
Listen, I want to thank Jonathan for being back in the building. Okay, we got Shaquita, we got Lena, we got Francis, we got Jasmine. Thank you for being here. Azure, thank you for being here. And listen, I'm looking forward to talking with you. Robert, Pamela, Jonathan is in the room. Anthony's in the room. Cece is in the room. Joshua's in the room. Thank you for being here, everybody. Go ahead and share this a few more times. Can we get it up to 15 shares while I talk about how 6% interest rates are better than 2.99, especially if you are a real estate investor. Okay, so now I'm going to put on the screen here, a 200, just $200,000, $200,000 at 6%. Now, why at 6%? Because the interest rates are above 6% right now. They were recently as low as like 2.8, and some even got 2.5. And they thought that was the best thing since sliced bread. Do you know why? Because everybody calls the lower interest rates the better interest rates. I want you to know today, I'm going on record. This is not a word play. If you can afford the payment, you're better off at the higher interest rates. What's getting ready to happen is people are waiting on the sidelines now. Competition for these houses, competition is less now because people are afraid of the high interest rates. But you know what they didn't do? What they didn't do is do the math. They didn't do the math on whether the high interest rate was actually going to hurt me long term in what I was supposed to pay for this house. They don't understand how the high interest rates can actually work for you. We have just heard that the high interest rates are bad. Okay? We just heard that they're bad and the lower interest rates are good. And so here's what we're being told. Go ahead, if you're a real estate investor, if you are trying to buy your first home or second home as a residential home buyer, go ahead and get it at the higher interest rates. And when the interest rates get better or lower, refinance out of it. Is that what you're hearing? And I'm here to tell you right now, all right? You want to clip this and hold me accountable to this. Don't ever refinance out of a higher interest rate just to get a lower one. Don't ever do it. You are putting yourself in harm's way. You're costing yourself more money, and it will not do what you want it to do. It will not save you more money, and it will not pay off the loan faster by refinancing to a lower interest rate. Don't ever do it. And you can say, Don Daniel said so. Okay. Now, and let me give you a little bit of information here. So you're going to want to see this. If you're new to the room, go to ice10kvideos.com and you can see it on YouTube. You can also search P.I.L.L method on your favorite social media platform. Find us there and you can watch the video there. All right. So we're on practically everyone except TikTok because they don't do live video. All right. So we can't broadcast to them. All right. So here's what we're doing. $200,000 mortgage at 6%. The payment is $1,199 Here's the first thing you need to see. Here's the first thing you need to understand. The amount of interest that the bank wants over 30 years on this thing is $231,676. This is a key indication of why banking does this. 6%. You would think the bank wants 6% of $200,000 as their fee. No, they don't. They do something with their amortization schedule and turn 6% on 200,000 into $231,676. If you look over to the right here, you can see that the total interest paid as a percentage of principal is 115.838%. Oh my goodness. Listen, folks. Credit goddess. Kenyatta. Can you, this room is actually growing. We're up to 22 people in the room. It is growing. And we got new people in the room. Stack. Man, I didn't even see you there, man. I'm so busy doing what I'm doing. How are you doing, sir? What's going on?
I just came to support my brother. You already know, Ice. Came to support, share the room. You know what I mean? Pay off your mortgage in 7 years. Let's go. Share the support, brother.
Stack, I got a quick question for you. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right,
yes, sir.
Listen. Based on what you do, tell the people what you do, and then I got a question for you. But tell the people what you do first.
All right, so I own a worldwide digital marketing company by the name of Internet Traffic LLC, and it's attached to a magazine. And I help everybody on every single platform on the planet grow. So it doesn't matter which one they're on, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I help them get to the next level by using marketing solutions, digital billboard placements, and digital magazine placements. Yeah, I do a lot. That's only a little bit, Ice, but yeah, man. I help people get to the next level at the end of the day.
And you've helped some big names and some big companies, haven't you?
Of course, even people that you know, of course.
That's what we're talking about. And the reason why I ask you that, Steph, because when it comes to internet, you have seen a bunch, all right? And you've helped a lot of companies, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other company that you've met anywhere on the planet that does what we do here in the P.I.L.L method?
Nah. Hey, this is unique. What you got going on is unique, Ice. You know, everybody's different. When you hear their strategies and the way they go about things, everybody got a different mastermind on their dashboard. So everything's a little bit different, man. And yours is unique, and I like the way you use it. So I'm just here to get the gems, man. See how you work, and tell other people to come in here to get these gems. So, but yeah, it's unique, man. It's different, you know.
All right, so listen, folks. If you Google this guy, Stack with the Pack, Stack Pack, you Google him.
Stack Pack Music. Google Stack Pack Music.
Google Stack Pack Music. You'll see that this guy has receipts. He's not up here capping. He got receipts, and he's seen a bunch. So listen, folks, get in here, watch what I'm talking about, because you're not going to get it anywhere else. You're only going to get this, what we're talking about here. I didn't go to YouTube University to get this, to give it to you. This didn't come from somebody teaching it to me. You know where this came from? This came from a gift from God, because I'm autistic. I didn't know I was autistic. I didn't learn this until later on in age. I was up in age. Some people call what I have Asperger's. Okay. And my brand of autism, when I look at an amortization schedule, I see the patterns, and the patterns that have been put together make the bank a lot of money. But those same patterns that make a lot of money, here's the key. If a mortgage situation or loan situation is making a lot of money, that's a key indicator that you can save a lot of money. What? The more money that they're charging you to do the loan, the more money you can save. Oh my goodness. I got to write that down. Because some of the things that I talk about, folks, I'm discovering right with you. So I'm writing that down. The more they're charging, get encouraged, because that's the more you can save. And I'm writing it down because that's going in the book. Because a lot of the stuff that I talk to you about, folks, that's where the information from books comes from, is that from speeches, from ideas that come as because you're looking for the best way to explain what we're talking about. And so I'm putting this up here, folks, so that you guys can see what we are talking about. Continue to share the room. We're up to 11 shares. Can I get up to 15? Can I get 4 more people to share this room while we go over this? All right. So again, if you want to see what we're talking about, go to a separate device, maybe a computer or a laptop or a tablet like a iPad or something, and then put in ice10kvideos.com, ice10kvideos.com, and you can see what we're doing. So we got $200,000, and here's a key indicator. Here's what I'm talking about. They want $231,000 in interest. $231,000 in interest on a $200,000 loan. They want more in interest than I borrowed in principal. That's one house for the bank and one house for me. One house for the bank and one house for me. I am not interested. I don't know about you. Anybody here interested in buying a house for the bank? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Are you interested in buying a house for your bank? Come on, somebody, put it in the chat. I want to know. Are you interested? Tell me in the chat if you're interested in buying a house for the bank. Anybody? All right, I'm not seeing anything in the chat. I guess everybody's okay with buying that house for the bank. Come on, folks, put that in the chat. I'm going to wait here for just a minute. Is anybody wanting to buy a house for the bank while you're buying a house for yourself? Anybody? Go ahead. Tell me yes or no. All right, Tammy, come on. Thank you for coming through, Tammy. All right, I love it when people participate. Oh, here we go. There we go. Somebody just put a big old red X. Absolutely not. Lena said, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. All right, so here's what we're talking about, folks. Jeremiah Sams online said no. Lena Baker online says no. All right, folks, here we go. Here's what we're talking about. We do not want to pay that. But when you see all of that interest that the bank wants, that's a key indicator that you can get out of this loan cheaper and faster, because there's a weakness in their system. And Shaquita said, never, 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 never. Okay, she don't want to buy a home for the bank. That's not why we're doing this. We're not interested in that. Okay, so here's what we're talking about, folks. I want you to watch something. The higher the interest rate, I want you to take a look at this principal payment. Don't get discouraged when you see a low interest payment, because I'm going to show you something that is amazing here in just a second. $199.10 goes to principal, while $1,000 goes to interest. Do you see the small principal payment and the large interest payment? When you see that, get encouraged, okay? The smaller the principal payment and the higher the interest payment, get encouraged, because here's what's happening. Since we don't know how to read an amortization schedule, banks have been getting away with this for 88 years. 88 years, because we don't know the weakness in the system. And this is the weakness. Now, this is not my program. I'm just showing you what my Asperger's brain sees when I look at this thing. We created a whole computer system to take advantage of this. All right. So here's what we're talking about. I give out a lot of good information here, but this is not my system. And some people say, oh, thank you very much. If this is the system, we'll go ahead and employ it. They get in trouble. It doesn't work well for them, because there's some other things that need to happen that only a computer can do that I can't explain. I can't explain this online. And so people get in trouble. Then they call and says, well, why isn't this working the way I want it to? It's working, but it's not working the way I want it to. It is because we have to make specific moves with specific amounts of money only at strategic times during the year. And we have to attack the right loan, because the average family has 13 different debts. So where do we start? Where do we end? Okay, where do we begin? How much money do we move? And that's what the P.I.L.L method is all about. But watch this. $199.10 goes to principal. $1,000 goes to interest. That's the first line. Look at the second line. $200.10 goes to principal, and $999 goes to interest. Look at line 3. $201.10 and $998. It's changing by $1 each month. $1 less for interest, $1 more for principal. And then as we get deeper into the amortization schedule, more and more money goes from principal to interest. I mean, from interest to principal. A little less interest, a little more principal each and every month. And the first 7 years of your mortgage, this transfer is the slowest. It starts to pick up speed with more money every month going to principal and less money to interest after 7 years. That's why banks offer you a refinance between 5 and 7 years. Okay, what do I do to see this live? Okay, so Tammy, what do you do to see this live? Is if you go to a separate device, you can put in ICE 10K, that's ICE, the number 10, the letter K, videos.com in your browser, and that'll take you to YouTube. Or you can just search us on YouTube and look for P.I.L.L method. Either way, all right? And then, or look for P.I.L.L method on any of the streaming platforms, like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Okay, look for P.I.L.L method, and then you'll be able to find us there, and then click on live and you can see it. Okay, that's how you can see what's going on. So folks, again, we're back here. Do you see these small principal payments? And I need you to get encouraged when you see the small principal payments and not get discouraged and say, look, Don, I'm out of $1,200, nearly $1,200. Look, I'm paying down my mortgage by just $200, but the bank every month is getting over $900, nearly $1,000 each month for the first year. In fact, if you count it all up, if you look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest here, if you look at it, you can see that after 1 year, you will pay this loan down by $2,456 and a penny. If we look at that's the third column, and the fourth column, you pay it down by $2,456 and a penny, but the bank will receive $11,933.19. That's a key indicator that you can save a lot of money and pay off faster when you see this huge disparity. When the numbers get closer together, the amount of money that goes to principal and the amount of money that goes to interest, you make it harder to pay off the loan. So when the principal goes up, it's harder to pay off the loan. The principal goes up when the interest rate goes down. Let me show you how that works. Let me show you what happens here. So if we make a payment in January, we'll only reduce the amount of the loan by $199.10 while $1,000 goes to interest. And if we see our February principal payment would be $200.10. Did you know if you prepay that $200.10, I mean, pay the $200.10 before February 1st, before the first of the next month, all $200 goes to principal. All $200.10 goes to principal. You're paid down to the principal balance on line 2 immediately in the same month. And your next mortgage payment is on line 3 of the amortization schedule. So line 2 is completely eradicated for $200.10, gone. The interest that the bank was looking for, $999, is also gone. Now, folks, I've got some good moderators here. All right. I need you to, if you have a question about this, if you have a statement, anything, raise your hand, come to the stage. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Listen, I want to make sure listen, how can I help somebody come to the stage. All right. I know you have a burning question, but sometimes you need a little incentive. All right. Do you see that a link above my head? It's a 10K card. All right. No. I mean, that we usually have up there. That's the free chapter to my book. Go ahead, because I'm getting ready to take this off. Click that link to get a free chapter of my book, the same book that explains some of this.
Why don't you let them know about your book anyway?
All right. While we're here, okay, we're going to take a quick break. Let's go ahead, take a quick break, and then we're going to take this down. Folks, listen. Out of 33 million titles on Amazon, there's only one book that talks about what we're talking about right now. There's only one book, The P.I.L.L Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. Go ahead and get the book today and start learning this information that not even your real estate agent knows, your financial planner doesn't know this, your CPA doesn't know this. I'm just talking about financial education for our families. The reason why we don't have generational wealth like we should is because of a lack of information. Right now, we're spending our kids' inheritance on interest, and we don't have to. Did you know that you could pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years without sacrificing lifestyle? You can live well and get out of debt in 7 to 9 years with your current budget. You don't need more money. You just need to pay less interest. That's what this book is about. Go ahead, get the book today. Start teaching your children, your nieces and nephews, your grandchildren. Start teaching them this information. Let's go ahead and change that link back to the top. People should have an opportunity to go ahead and at least get a free chapter of the book. All right. Read the free chapter and then get the book. All right. On Amazon. So we're going to put the other link back up, and that's my 10K card. All right. So listen, if you, it's a digital business card. If you have a business, or even if you don't have a business, if you would like to have your own 10K card, for the first 3 people that come to the stage and ask a question, I will pay for your 10K card. First 3 people that raise their hand and come to the stage, we will send you out a 10K card. Okay. Your own digital business card for the first 3 people that come to the stage and ask a question. All right. Here's one, Brittany. All right. Let's bring Brittany up. That's one. All right, Brittany, come on up to the stage. All right. And she's now the speaker. All right. Listen, there's 2 more. There's Tammy. Tammy said, give me my 10K card. Where's my 10K card? All right. So we're going to invite her up to speak. All right. That's 2. But listen, I got 1 left. I got one left. Who wants it? Who wants a 10K card today? So listen, folks, Brittany and Tammy, I need you to hit me up in my back channel and say, and just put in 10K card. That way we'll go ahead and get that taken care of for you today. All right. So listen, I'm going to finish this example and then we're going to get into your question. All right. So, by the time I'm through with this example, we're cutting that off, whether I get the 3rd one or not. So go ahead, make sure that you're the 3rd person that gets a 10K card today. All right. So folks, here's what we're talking about. So do you see this? The small principal payments. If we prepay the $200.10, we save the $999 in interest we don't have to pay. The interest payments we skip don't matter. Interest payments skipped don't matter. So watch this. If I make my mortgage payment here in January and I give the bank the next 3 principal payments, that's the $200.10, the $201.10, and the $202.10. If I give the bank that money, do you realize if I give them $603.30 early on this loan, I skip nearly $3,000 in interest I don't have to pay. And my next mortgage payment is on line 5. I'm paying fewer monthly payments by knowing what small amounts of money prepaid to a loan can do. When I do a small amount of money, let me show you something here. I recently heard All right. Did I have one more person raise their hand to come to the stage? Did I miss anybody? All right.
I think it's one more. Jasmine's coming up. Jasmine, come up here.
All right. Go ahead. Thank you, Stack. All right. Bring Jasmine up. All right. So, folks, now watch this, folks. Watch this. If we do, listen, folks, we're giving away a lot of free stuff today. We're giving away free 10K cards. We're giving away free chapters of my book.
And y'all might win ice. They might win the free article from the magazine. You never know how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling good.
What?
A lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I might give y'all a magazine. Y'all listen to Ice. I might give y'all a magazine article. So let's get it.
Doggone, Stack. Thank you, man. Oh man. All right, folks. Listen, you listen to Stack. He's gonna tell you. And listen, if he's feeling good, he's gonna make sure you get a free article from his magazine. All right, he'll tell you how to do all of that. All right, folks. Here's what we're talking about. So I just showed you what would happen if we give them 3 of these principal payments. Now, I need you to take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. Okay, I need you to take a look at that. Oh, Jeremiah Sams wants to know what amortization calculator am I using? This guy's name is Brett Whistle. This is what I use for simple illustration. This is not what I use for my program. We have a powerful, artificially intelligent, cloud-based computing platform that does all of the math automatically for you. This is something that I just use for illustration purposes only. BrettWhistle.net, BRETWHI, S as in Sam, EL, Brett Whistle. He created this thing, but we use a whole, a whole AI system that does all of the math for us. So watch this. Cumulative principal, cumulative interest for 1 year, 2456.01. All right. That's what we would pay down the loan by if we pay 12 monthly installments like the bank wants. But we'll also give the bank over a year $11,933.19. So here's what I want you to focus on: the principal payment. Remember, the smaller the principal payment, the more damage you can do to this loan. The smaller the principal payment, the more damage you can do to this loan. I need you to get that deep down in your psyche. All right. So the 2456. Here's my question: do I have to pay that in 12 monthly installments, or if I had it, could I pay it in 1 monthly installment? Just one. Okay. So watch this. Watch this. What if we pay 2456 all at once on line 1? Do you know the bank has to subtract that from what I owe? We're paid down to line 12 on the amortization schedule in just 1 month, and we skip all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. We skip them. That is powerful. That is powerful because of the small interest, the small principal payments, and the huge interest payments. Let me show you one more, because I heard this online just the other day. I was on Clubhouse and I was listening in another room, and I heard this guy talking about he's a real estate investor because this was the position he was in to take advantage of a great opportunity. The bank is charging him 18% interest on a 30-year loan. 18% interest on a 30-year loan. Is it legal? Yes, it's legal. Watch this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in on the screen. If you want to see this, folks, Kenyatta, while I'm setting this up, all the new people that just came into the room, would you please tell them how they can see about how we're going to deal with this 18% mortgage?
My pleasure. Hey, new people, go to ice10k videos with an s.com. ice10k videos with an s.com. It'll let you straight over into YouTube, where you can like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, share.
All right, folks. So now I've got an 18% mortgage on here. 18%. All right. Oh my goodness. Look at here. Look at here. Look at here. All right. So if you want to see how you can take advantage of an 18% mortgage and how not to let it take advantage of you. Put number 9s in the chat. I need to see some number 9s in the chat if you want to see how even an 18% mortgage can actually help you. Listen, I'm not asking you to go out and get one. I'm just saying, if you happen to be in a position where to take advantage of an investment property, but what comes along with it is an 18% mortgage, put number 9s in the chat if you want to see how you can take advantage of an 18% mortgage instead of an 18% mortgage taking advantage of you. All right. All right. Johnny says he's currently in the process of buying his first home. Johnny, you definitely want to reach out to me. All right. You definitely want to look at our let's go ahead and put the link back up. ICE 10K. Which one were we putting up there? Which link were we using, Kenyatta, today? ICE 10K Live. Yeah. ICE10KLive.com. Let's go ahead and put that back. ICE10KLive.com. Let's put that back so people can see how they can get a savings and earnings report. And brother, you want to go ahead and do that. Put that in so that you can click on that and get your report today. So do I have, let me see here. Let me go back to the chat. Oh, I see a number 9. Listen, I see some number 9s in here. So let's take a look at this. Watch this. Here's the first thing you're going to see. All right. Now, remember, the higher the amount of money that the bank wants, the better you should feel. Here's a $200,000 mortgage at 18% for 30 years. Look at the amount of interest that they want here. $885,000. But that's over 30 years. I need you to be encouraged if you see that. Oh, I got to get a drink of water on this one. I got to get a drink of water on this one. All right. I need you to get encouraged when you see that. All right. And when you take a look at the total interest paid as a percentage of principal, look at this number. Look at this number. 400. The effective interest rate is 442%. 442.551%. I need you to get encouraged when you see that, because that means you can save at the same rate that they're charging you. Now watch this. Remember, the higher the interest rate, the smaller the principal payment. I'm getting ready to reveal it. I got 13 people watching, and here we go. The payment on this loan is $3,014.17 a month. Here's the first thing you need to know. If you can afford the payment, you can do fantastic damage to this loan if you can afford the payment. Now, if you can't afford the payment, that's another thing. But if you can, now this is a real estate investor. This is a multifamily property. This is a multifamily property. Sharice said, OMG. Sharice, she's on she's on YouTube. She said, look at that tiny principal payment. Look at that interest payment. And why should you be encouraged? As somebody who sees this, can somebody tell me why, based on what you've learned just today, why should you be encouraged when you see this at this high interest rate? Why should you be encouraged? Anybody? Okay. And any of my new people up here who had a question, you can chime in here too. Open up your mic. Do you know why you should be encouraged if you have a $14 principal payment and a $3,000 interest payment? Does anybody know why they should be encouraged? Go ahead and break out in there. Okay. Anybody? Write it in the chat. Okay. Why should you be encouraged? Oh my goodness. Okay. Joshua Walsh says the lower principal payment is easier to make. Oh, watch this now. Watch this. And a Facebook user says you can avoid more interest with the lower principal payment. Oh my goodness. Are you seeing this, folks? Listen, people are catching on. Shaquita says, this feels like a kid in a candy store. Johnny Bling says, wow. Listen, folks, we're here to turn this whole thing around so that you can know what to do with these higher interest rates. Stop letting people tell you that the lower interest rates are better and the higher interest rates are bad. Listen, we got folks jumping in here now. Oh, everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to talk now. Everybody. All right. Woo! Wee. Teresa, you teaching up in here. Let's put that on the screen. So, Teresa, you teaching up in here. Listen, folks, look at this. Can you see if we make this payment, of $3,014.17. Okay. Now, here is the thing. This is a multi-family property. This investor is making about $6,000 a month on this. Okay, bringing in $6,000 in rents on this, but paying out $3,014 a month in mortgage payments. Is that a good place to be financially? If out of $6,000 you're bringing in, but you pay $3,000 out, is that a good financial place to be in? Okay, but we're going to go at one step further and say you don't have to pay all that interest. You can take advantage of this thing. All right. And then I'm going to show you another situation where we're showing people how they can turn this thing around. And let me pull this up, get it ready for us on how you can. Okay, there we go. We're going to pull that up, get that ready to go up on the screen a little later. All right. How you can make this act like, oh, wow. This 4.5%. I make it act like a 4.5% loan. I'm going to show that to you in just a second. Okay. I'm going to show that to you in just a second. All right. And there we go. Put that up as well. All right. So watch this, folks. Watch this. If we make this payment in January, Look at the February principal payment. The February principal payment is $14.38. Look at Brittany put in that. Look at that principal. Brittany said, pay more to principal. Lord have mercy. Look at this. I'm making my regular mortgage payment, and look at next month's principal payment, $14.38. If you add an extra $14.38 to this mortgage payment, you knock out line 2 on this mortgage, and you save $2,999.79 in interest you never have to pay, because the bank thought they were getting over on you by giving you an 18% mortgage. Okay, Jasmine says, we have definitely been bamboozled. Oh my goodness. Woo! Pamela Dorsey says, wow. All right. That's what we're talking about, folks. I need you to pay close attention to this thing and why you should, if you can afford the payment, don't ever refinance out of this just to get a lower interest rate, because you are hurting yourself. Now, if you want to do an interest rate, if you want to do a refinance to take cash out, a cash out refi, you're welcome, Pamela. She says thank you. If you want to do a cash out refi, to take cash out of your property so that you can reinvest it, that's another thing. That's making money with your money. But if you're trying to refinance just because somebody offered you a lower interest rate because that's what everybody else is doing, don't you do it. Oh, and somebody else that just took advantage of this not too long ago is E.T., the hip hop preacher. All right. I need to get a drink of water. So I'm going to have E.T. come in here and tell you why he paid off his mortgage in just 4 years. He did it because of his wife. I need you to listen into this and watch this while I get a drink of water. Come on, E.T. Talk
Listen to
to
me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to see this. Did you hear what he just said? Somebody who makes the kind of money that E.T. he says, I don't even pay cash for a house. I've learned how to get a 30-year loan, save a ton of interest by learning how to best prepay this loan and pay it off in 4 years while my money stays in my investments to make more money so that he can do more in his communities. Do you realize that E.T. took a bunch of kids to the Super Bowl? E.T. took a bunch of kids to the Super Bowl and he paid for it out of his own pocket. He didn't ask for sponsors. He paid for it out of his pocket. Why was he able to do that? Because he didn't take money out of his investment to buy a house. He got a mortgage to buy his house and took just a small piece of his income to pay the house off faster and cheaper while he's taking kids to the Super Bowl. Do you know what? He recently took some kids to Dubai. What? To Dubai? I've never been to Dubai. Some inner city kids. I mean, he's flying them to Dubai and showing them how they can level up, how they can be. And how did he do that? Out of his own pocket. Why did he do it out of his own pocket? Because he had it out of his investments, because he didn't take his investment to buy a house or to buy a car. He learned how to use the bank's money and get it at a discount. Let me show you something here. So folks, let me show you something. I need you to see cumulative principal and cumulative interest. If you're watching this online, if you're new to the room, if you're new, listen, folks, if you believe that this information is valuable, I got 14 shares. I should at least have, I got 37 people in here right now. I should at least have 25 shares. Can I get up to 25 shares while I share this with you? Get some more people in here. They need to see this. No stingy energy, folks. No stingy energy. Let everybody see this, what we getting ready to see. And Kenyatta, this is some good stuff here. I know I got some new people in the room that want to see it. I got some new people in the room that want to see it. Can we bring them into this so they can see? All right, I see Coffee Brown here. Let's invite her up. All right. So all right. Oh wow, we lost Kenyatta for a second. All right, so folks, here's what we're doing. We have you go to ice10kvideos.com. If you're new to the room, go to ice10kvideos.com so that you can see what's going on. Miss Coffee Brown, how are you doing today?
I'm exceptional, Don. I'm just here to testify that what you're teaching is an amen corner.
All right. So, we're talking about today how higher interest rates are better than lower ones.
Oh, Lord have mercy, Don. Lord. Good morning, everybody.
Tell us who you are, Coffee Brown.
I am Coach P. Coffee Brown. I'm here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston, literally the hottest state in the nation right now, literally. Super excited to be in the building. I'm an international best-selling publisher, and we're on to our 9th publication right now, and super excited about all this manifesting with that. Also have a Phenomenal Boutique. And by day, I lead a group of fantastic licensed risk management advisors, aka insurance agents. So just tap in, tune in, stay connected to me. Definitely plug into me on Instagram. Please don't DM me on Clubhouse. A lot of times those get lost in translation. So definitely connect with me on Instagram and all social media to find out more about me. I yield that mic back to you. Don is the man. Make sure you're following this house and following him. He is fantastic and phenomenal, transforming lives all over the globe. So thank you, Don, for having me. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you, Coffee Brown. Listen, folks, listen. Remember, the smaller the principal payment, the better off you are, and interest payments you skip.
Hey, Don.
Yes.
Just a reminder, you do have those two people on stage with the questions, and they're probably wanting their 10K card.
All right, we're gonna get to that. Thank you so much. So here's what we got, folks. We've got if you look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest, do you see that cumulative principal for 1 year is $184.79? $184.79. If you prepay that, you make your regular mortgage payment and then give the bank an extra $184.79 at this interest rate, you knock off a year's worth of payments and you skip the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. Interest payments you skip don't matter. Interest payments you skip don't matter. All right. So we've got Tammy we've got Tammy here. We got Brittany, we got Jasmine. Brittany, how are you this morning? Brittany, are you in the building? Can you speak with us?
I excuse me, I am. I was actually typing my question and you just kind of answered it.
Okay.
Because I'm listening to you, but I actually went to the YouTube because I'm a visual learner. I'm an educator, but I'm a visual learner because when I'm looking at new concepts, I like to see them as well. Excuse me. So basically, to get the gist of this, I wish there was a way like on Clubhouse you could put the picture. I don't know if maybe you could screenshot it and like change your picture to that graph so people could like touch your picture and see the actual graph so they could see what you're talking about if they're not doing both. So what I was looking at, the initial payment was like $3,000.
Correct.
And the principal was 14.
Yes.
So I added that up on the calculator, and if I did 5 months, if I was following what you said correctly and looking at the graph, and that put me at, if I did the initial payment plus the principal for 5 months, that put me at $70.85. So I paid 5 months, but I have saved. Let me go to this graph on YouTube. Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
1, 2, 3,
Brittany, you're
4,
doing the math,
5.
girl.
She is definitely a teacher.
Come on, Brittany.
What? That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. So I've got it right here for you, Brittany.
I'm the real crook.
Listen, here's what you're saying. If you give the bank that money, that saves you about $11,998.71.
Right.
Almost $12,000 by giving the bank of $73 more on your mortgage. All right, $73 more will save you $11,998. This is what a higher interest rate will do for you, folks. Am I saying go out and I am not saying that. What I am saying is if you find yourself in this position, here's what you can do. Do not despair. Okay. So Miss Brittany, do you have any other questions for me today?
I'm honestly speechless. So how far in advance can we do this? Like,
No, I mean, like, honestly,
Yeah.
seriously, because the reason why I ask is
Yes.
because people like me,
Mhm.
we have like summer savings. Some of us get paid year round. Some of us get paid year round, and we also set up a summer savings.
Mhm.
We have things like Roth and things like that that we can actually borrow against when for things like when we buy a home.
Yes.
But if you have structured all of your things right, you won't need to do that. But
Mhm.
for something like this, definitely I tap into it because it's like, why not?
Now you're
This
going to
is
know
cheaper
what
than
you
going out to eat at a 5-star,
exactly.
you know, and
Exactly.
I'm actually building into my future.
Exactly. So here's what we're going to talk about. See what we're so this is what I was saying in the beginning. You can watch this video. I mean, you can go to YouTube and watch this video over and over again. And you can actually do some of this right now. We give you enough information to go out here and to do something. All right. But you know, and I know, okay, you're a teacher.
Yes.
Okay. I can sit in your classroom and I can watch you teach. Right. Do you know?
No, you can't sit in my classroom and watch me teach. It's all hands on deck in my room.
Oh,
I'm not sage on the stage. We all work.
Oh.
I introduce the concept. You get in there and you do it, and then you teach it back to me and you teach a friend.
Woo,
that's how I know you know.
Come on now. Come on, Miss Brittany. Here's what I found out. Because my wife is now, what level do you teach?
At this point, I teach autism, but before,
really,
I was a science teacher and a science coach and a STEM person. So even when the superintendent of my district came in my room, he was not, and my principal was like, "You are super ballsy." He was not allowed to watch me for more than 5 minutes because even he had to participate.
Ooh.
And he learned something. There are no onlookers in my room. We all learn.
So when you heard that I'm autistic, what did that do for you?
What did it do for me? It just meant that you learn differently.
Yes, that's right.
It.
That's it.
You see things differently. Like you saw this because most children and people who are autistic, they see patterns before most people see them.
Yes.
So, which is probably why you saw this initially and it made sense to you.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of people in the world didn't initially see this and you were like, wait, why don't you see this? And everybody else is like, what do you see?
Yep.
How do you see that? That's all.
Do you know what
that's why I really like it. And I'm in my last 7 years of being an educator.
Yes.
But that's why I really enjoy doing this and what I do, because while I love STEM, while I love science, that's my first baby. These little people are so amazing.
Come on,
their
girl.
brain, the way it works is just like, wow, every day.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for so, Miss Brittany. You know what I found out?
What?
That professors at the university level don't need a teaching certificate. In fact,
no,
they have teachers that come in at the university level to teach professors how to teach. So you could be in a position but not know how to do you may be a subject matter expert, but that doesn't make you a teacher, correct?
Correct.
Come on now. So what we're talking about here is you can see this, but you need to know how to teach. You need to know how to understand it. There's more going on behind the scenes than what you can see that I could teach here in 2 hours. All right. So if you want to know how to do this, you want to go to my 10K card up above, click on the link, and it will tell you, you will see a button that says get a savings and earnings report. And my staff will go to work on that and produce a savings and earnings report for you. But even with that, we're going to give you exact instructions on how much money to move, what month to do it in, what day of the month to do it on, and develop a strategy just for you. Should we tap into the 401k or should we just leave it alone? Is there another thing that we could do? Do we have to cut back on vacations? We may find out we don't have to cut back on vacation. We may find out that we have everything we need with our current budget. We just need to optimize its use.
Okay.
We may find that all of that out where we can live well, and I don't have to cut up my credit cards. I don't have to eat beans and rice 7 days a week. I don't have to cut back on my fun. What I can do is figure out how all of this works in my budget and then take the amount of money that's left over each month. How do I best use that by just sticking it in the bank for a little time and find out when to pull it out and when to apply it and which loan do I apply it to? We're going to do all of that in our system. We can show you how all of that works. Okay. So that's going to be number one. So all the guesswork is gone. You don't have to figure it out. We'd figure it out for you and with you. Okay. Just like you, the people that are in that come on board with us, they're not allowed to sit down and they have to work with a coach. You have to perform. You can't go to my website and buy this program and work on your own. You can't. It's not allowed. You have to go through this process. You have to see what you can do. You have to learn how your finances actually work, and you need to work with our customer service people, and you get a coach that calls you on a regular basis just to be your accountability partner and come up with a strategy just for your family or your business that's unique from your neighbors. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because you're teaching me how to fish. You're not giving me the fish.
There you go. And we don't teach everybody the same way now, do we, Miss Brittany?
No.
No, we do not. Because we all learn differently. Okay. So do you have another question for me?
No, that's it. So I have the free 10K cards because I met 10K when he first got on this platform.
Okay.
I do have a side business. I'm a notary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with my 10K cards. I will take the paid one. However, if somebody has a business that they are doing 24/7, I will fall back and let you bless them with that one. But if not, then I will take the paid 10K card.
And we'll find out. We'll find out.
Blessing people.
Right. We'll find. So you just let me know who you want to give it to, and we'll make that happen. Okay.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right. Thank you for coming to the stage. Miss Tammy, you're up next.
Can you hear me?
I most certainly can. What do you have on your mind?
This is amazing. I actually was on Sunday, but I was driving, and I'm visual as well. So now I'm on, the YouTube looking at you.
Yes.
And it just makes sense. And me and my husband, we actually just purchased our house, and our first mortgage is August 1st. So when I tell you God timing is perfect.
Wow.
It's perfect. So I'm looking at this schedule.
Yes.
And at closing I saw it, but I can't find it now.
Oh, I can.
And I know they just sold the mortgage already to a new mortgage company. So how do I get access to this?
Well,
so that I can know what my
I'll produce one for you in just a few seconds. How's that?
Okay.
How much did you borrow? About. It doesn't have to be exact.
Oh man. I know we put 3% down.
Right.
The mortgage was for $354, I believe, $999.
Mm-hmm.
And we put 3% down. So whatever the difference is from that.
Okay, hold on.
And we had a 3.5 interest rate.
Okay, so you said it was 354?
Yes, was the price, but we put 3% down.
354, 999 times 3%. Okay. So about $10,649.97. Okay. So and subtract that. So how much was the original? You said how much was it again? Your mortgage before the down payment?
354.
254.
354. 354. 999.
354. Okay.
Yeah.
354. 999. All right. So 344,349. So we'll do that. All right. 344,349. Okay. 300. Okay. 44,349. 344,000. 349. All right. And you say your interest rate is what?
3.5%.
3.5. Okay, 3.5. Now, here's what this is basically it. I'm just looking at the principal and interest payment. Okay. We're not talking about the taxes and insurance that's added to this. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is basically where we are. $1,546.28 in principal and interest. We're looking at on $344,349. The bank wants $212,311.80. Now, what you're seeing and what I'm talking about is just a little bit delayed, but the total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 61%, 61.656%. This is what the bank wants. Okay. So you know that $212,000 is not 3.5% of 344,000. Just not that. All right. So now let's take a look at your very first payment. About $541.93 goes to principal, $1,000 goes to interest. So here's the thing. You can get an amortization schedule, but this is based on what you see here. This schedule is based on following the exact payments. If you pay even 10 cents extra, do you realize it destroys the whole amortization schedule? It's off now and you need a new one. Every time you pay extra, you need a new amortization schedule.
Gotcha.
So just getting it from the bank or or even creating your own is not enough. You want to know exactly what to do. This is why we have a system that does all this work for you and tells you exactly how much to pay, what month to do it in, what day of the month to do it on, and which loan to attack. And we're going to tell you how much interest you save each time you do it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. I want to show you one other thing, and you then tell me. All right. So do you see on my screen? Can you see line 12 and line 24 on my screen? Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. So if the third column is cumulative principal and the fourth column is cumulative interest, we have $6,608.47 in cumulative principal and $11,946.89. That's the amount of interest that the bank wants in 1 year. But in 2 years, we have $13,452 and then $23,658. Let me ask you a question. If you have plenty of money in the bank and I only give you two choices to prepay, okay? Which one would you prepay? The $6,608 on line 12 or the $13,452 on line 24 and get rid of 24 payments? Which one would you choose if you have plenty of money in the bank?
$13,452.
Why?
Because I'm paying more. I'm paying more towards my principal, and that's like money in the bank because it's equity, and I'm also saving on insurance I'm paying the bank.
All right. Now let me show you. You are saving. You are doing exactly what you said, but I'm going to show you something the bankers will never, ever tell you. But it is how you spend money each and every day. But not here. You don't do it here. You do it everywhere else. You know how much you're getting per dollar on something. When I buy gas, I pay attention to how much it costs a gallon, don't I? Okay. When I go buy a fish at the store, I know how much it is per pound. Even when I buy grapes. Okay. Does your family like grapes?
Yes.
If grapes are $7 a pound this week, are you buying grapes?
No, my husband, he will.
And how would you feel about if you found that out?
I'm like E.T. Wife.
Okay.
I'd be like, you paid that much?
There you go, folks. Here's what we're talking about. So what you want to know is when I pay my money, am I saving the most per dollar when I do it? And that's what's key. So if, now you may want to bring out a calculator on this, okay?
Okay.
But I'm going to put one on the screen. So you can check me when we're doing this.
What is my calculator?
We can use the one on your phone
Okay.
if you want to. So let's go ahead and pull this up, pull the calculator up. Come on, where's my calculator? There it is. All right, so we're saving about 11,946.89. All right, if we prepay the 6,608.47. All right, so remember let's just pretend we have plenty of money in the bank. So I'm going to divide it by what I pay. This is what I'll receive, but let's go ahead and put in what the division here. So we're going to divide the 6,000 divided by 6,608.47 equals, I'm saving $1.80 for every dollar I put on. Now, has anybody ever explained it this way to you, that even $1 will save you $1.80 in interest on this mortgage?
No.
Is that good to know?
Yes.
What your dollar will do for you? Even $1? You know, if I want, I can break this all the way down to 1 penny. That's why I pick up pennies in the parking lot. How about you? I pick them up. I see them, I pick them up, because I know when I put a penny on my mortgage, extra penny, I know how much interest I'm saving per penny. Our program does all of that. So let's do line 12. So I'm saving $1.80 per dollar. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's do line 24. So I'm going to clear this out. We're going to put in 23,658.72 and divided by 13,452 equals, $1.75 per dollar. If I could save $1.80 per dollar when I'm doing something, should I ever accept $1.75 per dollar?
No. Wow.
It matters how much you pay. So you're learning something. It gets deeper and deeper, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
There is so much we don't know about this thing, Miss Tammy.
I see.
And this is why we want to give people everything they need. It's all contained in our computer program, and you follow it just like financial GPS. The program tells you exactly what to do with your money in the right amount. But what you first put in is, how do we want to spend our money? That's what you put in first.
Absolutely.
This is how my family spends money, Don. Now, what can you do with the rest? And we will tell you just how that happens if you get a savings and earnings report. That would be your first step. That way you can know the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free, and how you can save the most amount of interest that's mathematically possible for you. If you can get the same asset for 75% off on the interest payments, what can you now do with the interest money you didn't have to spend to buy this home? Ooh, so listen, her mind's turning. We could do a bunch with that money. Couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Do you want to save some money, or do you want to save the most money that you possibly can?
The most that you possibly can.
And listen, folks, the only way we can beat the bank's computer is to have a computer of our own that is specifically designed to beat them at their own game. You can't do it with pencil and paper. You just can't. It's just too much to do. Okay. And on Sunday, well, I know we're coming back here on Friday. We're going to have a special something on Friday, but on Sunday, okay. So start telling everybody now. Start telling everybody. We're going to go over the virtual, what I call the virtual 0% interest loan. And you don't need to get a new loan. I'll show you how you can virtually pay no interest on the loan you have. What? the virtual 0% interest loan on Sunday on this platform. Think of it this way. If I'm buying apples, correct? Okay. I buy a bushel of apples for $10. You follow me? Just Tammy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
I buy a bushel of apples for $10. Okay. But I sell them for $20. By the time I can sell them for $20. Did I actually pay for those apples?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to make more money. So I get the apples for free. So we're going to show you how to take, what if you could earn more interest than you ever paid in interest, which wipes out anything you've ever paid, plus you have more money available to you. We're going to show you how you can end up with a virtual 0% interest mortgage by taking the money that you didn't pay in interest to earn more interest than you've ever paid in your life. Not only that, but I'm going to have a free article for you on Sunday that you can actually read that kind of outlines this strategy. Are you all ready for Sunday?
Yes.
So this has never been done before on the internet or anywhere else. A virtual 0%. Now, this was a magazine article, but a lot of people didn't read it. I'm going to give it away for free on Sunday. It's
nice.
But again, folks, it is impossible to lay it out line by line what everybody should do in this case. I'm just giving an overall idea, but we are not like some of the other gurus where everybody does the same thing. We don't do that. Everybody do this and you'll be okay. I can't prescribe for everybody. You need something that's going to be specific to you. I'll give you the overall general idea, but you want what's specific to your family and what's going to make your family more money and what's going to save your family more money. You want something that's specific to you, but I'll give you the overall gist of it on Sunday. Are you guys ready? Do you have any other questions for me, Miss Tammy?
Just one.
Yes.
So you showed me the difference if, I did it between the 12 and the 24th, the 12 months and the 24 months. But I guess it probably depends on the individual.
Yes.
Like, how often should you do it? Should I do it yearly, making that lump sum principal payment? Like, how often?
I can answer that question for you. I can answer that question for you. I can tell you what you don't want to do. Okay.
Okay.
I can definitely tell you don't want to do it yearly.
Okay.
And when I show you this, you'll see why. Do you see your interest payments here? I'm starting at the top.
Yeah, but it's small and it's not big like you had it before on the screen.
All right, it's getting bigger now.
Okay, that's better.
All right, so you see the interest payments now?
Mm-hmm.
Which ones do you want to get rid of? The ones at the front of the loan or the ones at the back of the loan?
The ones at the front.
All right. So if you do it every year, guess what gets paid for a whole year? These.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, "Oh, I'm gonna put money on the next year where the interest that I could save are smaller." Does that what I'm telling you? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if I put $5,000 on, I'm going to lower how much I owe by $5,000 no matter where I put it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The amount of what I borrowed, I'm going to reduce my principal by $5,000. But I want to do it towards the front of the loan. But I'm going to scroll down here. It's going to take a minute. I certainly don't want to do it towards the back of the loan where where I've got 240 months in, right? And let's wait when it catches up here. And I've already paid $183,000 in interest. Okay. Now I apply 5,000. I will still reduce what I owe by $5,000. But now look at my interest payments I can knock out. They're tiny now. And now look at my principal payment. So my $5,000 only knocks out about 4 months. But look at the interest I could save, just these. So when I put my money on, I want to do it at the right time with the right amount of money, but I want to do it when I can knock out the more expensive interest payments with the smaller amounts of money. Make sense?
Gotcha. Yes.
So the timing is important. That's why the P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, meaning how much to pay and when. We isolate that, how much and when. And then leverage, what's the smallest amount I can pay to get the biggest bang for my buck.
Gotcha.
So we want to leverage. I want to put a little bit of effort, but I want to get a big old benefit. All right. And so when we're looking at your particular situation, then in the short run, then we want, what is that smallest amount and how long do I have to wait to apply that to get the biggest bang for my buck? That's a lot of math involved. And no one has ever told us that. All we've heard is just pay extra. Pay extra. Just pay extra. But you know what? When you just pay extra, guess what didn't happen? No one ever gave you a receipt on any loan anywhere saying, thank you for the extra payment. Here's how much interest you saved. No one has ever received that in the history of the planet. Not until now, when you work with us. You will know how much interest you're saving. Every time you put even $1 on your mortgage, you're going to know how much interest you save. It makes all the difference in the world. How do you feel about that?
It's very interesting. And I'm a numbers person, so this is exciting for me. So
all right, Miss Tammy. All right. So what you want to do is get your savings and earnings report, correct? So you want to go to ice10k.com or click on the link above, and that'll take you to my website. And then you can get a savings and earnings report. You can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you could save. And then we do one more calculation for you, how much potential money you could earn with the interest you're no longer paying the bank. That's why we call it a savings and earnings report. And most people earn back more interest than they've ever paid in life, which really means they didn't pay any interest because they got all the money back. How about that?
Amazing.
Miss Tammy, you have any
excited.
You have any other
No,
questions?
I don't.
You don't have any other questions for me?
No, I don't. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Go ahead and get that savings and earnings report. Miss Jasmine, are you still with us? Thank you for waiting patiently. Oh, Miss Tammy, make sure you hit me up on the back channel so make sure we get your 10K card.
Okay.
All right, Miss.
I'm still here.
Miss Jasmine, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Excellent. What question do you have for me today?
Well, you've actually answered because Tammy actually had my question, but I am a visual learner, so to be able to look at it from looking at it on YouTube while you're going through, it kind of makes sense. So at this time, I don't really have a question because my question has already been asked.
Ask it anyway. Let me see if I can come at it from a different angle.
Well, my biggest thing was understanding paying extra towards our principal, and understanding basically how much you're actually saving in interest. Because I've always been told, you want to pay extra every month towards your mortgage to your principal, but I didn't know how much I'll actually be saving, right? And so I'm on my second home. I purchased a home a few years ago, sold that one. I'm on my second home of roughly about 240. So I've been paying extra, but I wasn't paying enough in the way that you're teaching it. So it gives me a different
a different look.
All right, Miss Jasmine, let me show you now. Because you said that, all right, I'm going to show the other part of that with you. Well, we've seen what a higher interest rate can do, right?
Yes.
But we haven't seen what that 2.99% interest rate that everybody is hoping for and praying for and dreaming about. They want that 2.99. They want that 2.5 because that's what they're being told. Okay. And before you met me, you were dreaming and hoping for the same thing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to we've got our $200,000 mortgage at 6%, right? And I'm going back to where it was at $200 principal payments. All right. And what we can do there, I'm also going to bring this up on my YouTube so I can see what's going on. I want to go live myself so I can see what's going on here. And I'm watching it with you. Okay. So now we are looking at this. Now I'm going to put this. Do you see our principal payments, how small they are? You saw how small our principal payments were at the 18%. I'm going to take this thing all the way down to 2.99. I want you to see how much $2,456 and a penny. If we prepay that, it knocks off 12 months off this loan and it saves us $11,000, correct?
Mm-hmm.
At 18%, it's $2,456 and a penny. Ooh, I got to scroll way down for that. At 18%, 2,400. Oh, right here, $2,454 knocks off 86 payments. Knocks off 86 payments. How much interest did we just skip? Can you see it?
$256,000.
Yes. That was money the bank was hoping to get because they ganked us into getting an 18% mortgage. But that's how much interest they will not get if I prepay $2,454. How amazing is that? I know some people are screenshot. Listen, I got 21 shares in here. All right. I got people. And so Johnny Bling said, that's nuts. They said, what? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. All right. Listen, folks, here's what we got going on here. All right. I'm going to now go back and put another one in. We're going to duplicate this tab. We're going to pull up this at this same mortgage at 2.99. Okay. We're going to take a look at our mortgage payment. Oh, it goes all the way down to $842. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at it goes down to $842 at 2.99. Look how much interest they want. $103,000. So the $200,000, they want $103,000. Remember when I said when we see a huge amount that the bank wants, that is an indication that we're putting ourselves in a position to really win big on this thing. But the amount of interest that they want on a $200,000 mortgage now is only about half of that, half of the mortgage, which means even though it's 51.583%, okay, it's still a lot. It's still a lot, but it's not as much as it was if it were 6%. Because the more money they want from me for a 30-year loan, the more money I can save. Does that make sense to you? If you're talking, I can't hear you, Miss Jasmine.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense.
All right. So when we see a lot of money here, don't fret. Okay. So here's what we're looking at. Look at the principal payments now. Remember, I was at $200 principal payments before. On the 18%, I was down to $14 and $15 principal payments. But now look at my principal payments now at 2.99. Miss Jasmine, am I worse off at 2.99 than I am at 6?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard anything
Yes.
like this before?
No.
Man, oh man, I'm so glad that you all came to the stage to force us to take a look at these things from your point of view and understanding here why the bank wants you to get the lower interest rates, because it takes you longer and costs you more money to pay off these loans, because your extra money doesn't do as much work for you because you're not taught what $2,456 prepaid. And I'm just picking that number out of the air. You know, your situation is going to be unique to you. But look at $2,400 here. It only knocks off 7 payments. On one of the loans, the $2,400 knocks off, on this loan, it knocks off 7 payments. On the 6% loan, it knocks off 12. On the 18% mortgage, this same number knocks off about 84 payments. Do you see what we did not know and why we need to know this? So, Miss Jasmine, do you have any other questions for me today?
No, that was it.
All right, folks. Listen, thank you so much. Make sure you hit me up on the back channel so we make sure that you get your 10K card. Miss Credit Goddess, all right, are you still there with us today? Miss Credit Goddess and Coffee Brown? Because, folks, we're
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir.
Oh, great. Coffee, did you see what we went through here with these folks and seeing how they can save all this interest? They don't have to be afraid of the higher interest rates. Can you imagine how long it's going to take us to change our minds to think about the higher interest rates as the better ones?
Oh, Lord Jesus. Don. Just pray my strength in the Lord, Don, because I'm over here like, you know, we've been told this, Lord have mercy. We've been told this for so long, Don, and I'll be really honest with you. It's a struggle to change your mindset. However, once it's shifted, that's why I tell people it's so important that you stay in this room and you come as often as you possibly can and you keep hearing the information so that your mind can accept the new information. It's going to take a minute, you know, for us to be able to accept the new information. But when it manifests and you accept that new information, it is truly life transformative. I'm over here like, Don, I just do want to throw something at you. Like, you know how you sitting in the front row and the preacher say something,
yes,
you know, something incredible. You want to throw something at him?
A shoe?
I'm trying to throw something at you. You know what I mean?
You try to take off your shoe and throw it at me?
Listen here, Lord, have mercy.
Listen, folks, I'm getting ready to put something. I've got something on the screen here to finish this up today to show why this higher interest rates, you can treat it differently and you can know how to treat a higher interest rate like a lower one with the money that you have to work with. Here's a situation where we have the $200,000 mortgage at 18%. This particular real estate investor has $6,000 a month coming in, $6,000 a month coming in. All right. And the mortgage payment is $3,014.18. Now, in any situation, if I have $6,000 coming in and I've got to pay the bank $3,000, is that going to be okay? I mean, I'm making about almost $3,000 a month on this deal. Is that a good deal? Anybody? I'm making $6,000, but I got to pay the bank $3,000. Is that, and I'm making almost $3,000 a month cash flow on this home. Is that, would anybody else be satisfied with that? I know I would. Okay. Would you be satisfied with that? All right. So folks, here's what we're talking about. Now, this particular real estate investor says, you know what? Yeah, I'm making almost $3,000 here, but I want to invest back into more properties 2,000 of those dollars. Remember, we don't tell you how to spend your money. You tell us how you want to spend your money. And this particular person says, I want to take $2,000 of my money that I'm receiving and I want to invest it into more properties. I want 16.4% of my money, $985 approximately, to go into a fund so that I can do repairs and maintenance on my buildings. So a good real estate investor says, they're going to do things by percentages, and it just makes it easy. You got a plan here. 16.4% goes into the fund, and they're building their fund up because, if the buildings are in good shape, you're not going to always have to do maintenance on the buildings. I mean, you're going to build it up. All right. So over the years, this guy has, let's just say he has about 30 grand in the bank. Got about 30 grand in the bank, and it's in a savings account. It's making about 1/10 of 1%. I think the interest may be a little closer to, I don't know, 0.5% or maybe closer to 1% now that you can make by putting money in the bank. Still not enough. Okay. So he has about 30 grand in the bank. So we're saying every now and then, could you tap that money in the bank and apply it to principal? So if he takes out about $3,000, okay, because it's 985, and I'm just rounding it up. Okay, he could take out about $3,000. We're going to pull up the 18% mortgage. We're going to pull up that 18% mortgage. Where are you? Okay, nope, it's not there. There it is, the 18% mortgage. And if he puts 3,000, he's going to out of the 30,000, he's going to take $3,000 out, apply it to this loan, and knock off 96 payments. 96 payments. 84 payments is 7 years. 96 payments is 8 years off this 18% loan. $3,000 knocks off 8 years and saves him $286,000 in interest he never has to pay. Now, if he's taking $3,000 and he's putting almost $1,000 in the bank every month, how long is it going to take him to pay himself back the $3,000 he borrowed from himself? A little over 3 months. So in 3 months, 3.5 months, even 4 months, could he do the same thing again? Take out another $3,000 and knock off another 8 years or so. Can you see what's going on here, folks? With small amounts of money that's sitting on the sideline, and he's able to take his $2,000 he has and every month and continue to reinvest it. So while he's reinvesting money, making money, he's taking money that's kind of sitting dormant and leveraging small amounts of that money. Then he pays himself back, and then he uses that money again, pays himself back and does that and uses that money again. And when that happens, folks, look what we're doing here. I need to show you. We're showing this real estate investor how to pay this loan off in 7.8 years, save $712,000 in interest that he'll never have to pay. And I need you to watch this. When the bank wants $884,000 in interest, when they want $800 and you only pay them $172,000 in interest, that is the same amount of interest that you would pay if your loan was at 4.67%. We're going to show you how to treat this loan like it was 4.67, even though it was 18% with dormant money while you're still investing the money that you're receiving. That's knocking off 22.2 years, taking the interest money that you could have paid the bank, and we're going to show them how to take that money and turn it into over $1 million using the money that they would have paid to the bank. But this is only at 1% return on the money, $1,190,000. That's more interest made than they've ever paid in life. We're going to show them how to make more money than they've ever paid. We're going to get into more of this on Sunday, how you can get a virtual 0% interest mortgage. Come back here on Friday, though. Come back here on Friday. I'm going to put up a new loan, a new situation where we're going to be talking about on Friday. Let me go to my information here, and we're going to talk about. Okay, here it is. Friday. Okay, I need you to write this down. Friday. No, I mean Wednesday. What's today? Doggone it. I'm okay. Yeah, Friday. We're going to talk about student loan larceny. Student loans. If your student loans are hanging around like household pets, not ever going away, student loans on Friday. 0% interest mortgages on Sunday. You want to follow the P.I.L.L method. You want to follow me. You want to follow the moderators. Student loans. We're going to show you. My average client gets rid of student loans in 5 to 7 years. I don't care how big they are. They get rid of their student loans. They get rid of their mortgages. They get rid of their car payments, all of their loans, everything debt-free in about 7 to 9 years. That's everything, including the mortgage. But the student loans are gone in about 5 to 7. Wow. And we're going to talk about, should we pay off the loans or should we take advantage of the forgiveness programs that are out there? Listen, I want you to bring your questions about student loans here on Friday. I want you to tell everybody that in the P.I.L.L Method Club, we're going to be talking about student loans, how to get rid of them in 5 to 7 years. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. And we've got to cut out on our live stream. All right. It's time to say goodbye to everybody on the live stream. But listen, folks, come back here on Friday to learn about how to get rid of the student loans in about 5 to 7 years. Don't forget, go to ice10k.com, ice, the number 10, the letter K.com, to get your savings and earnings report. Click on the link that says get a savings and earnings report. Get your report, and then somebody from my staff will show you how to save money. There is a link that we had in the chat, all right, that you can get my book for free. Not my book, but a free chapter of my book. Okay, go to the beginning of the chat. You can see that. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat one more time before we go. But before we go, we need to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time as we say goodbye to everybody online. And we'll put that in the chat while you're watching. Goodbye, everybody online. We'll see you. But Clubhouse people, hang out.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.